Hello, and welcome to the BYU Family History Library webinar series. I'm Marin, and I'll be your host for this webinar. Make sure that your microphones and web cameras are disabled during the presentation to provide a smooth webinar. Our upcoming webinars are on August 22nd. That'll be with Catherine Grant. She'll be doing a presentation on using helper resources for Discover, Gather, Connect. So that'll be next Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time with Catherine Grant. Following that, we'll have a webinar at the same time on the 29th with Sarah Stoddard on DNA. If you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to use the chat box, as well as if you have any technical difficulties with your audio or visual. You can type those concerns in the chat box and I can help you out with that. If you'd like to access a previous webinar, you can visit our webinar index on our website or search on our YouTube channel. All of our webinars are recorded and uploaded the following Monday for your convenience. We also post links to the recordings and other updates on our Facebook and Twitter accounts. During the webinar, just remember that you can make comments and insights using the chat box, but all questions will be held at the end of the webinar, and we'll address those. For today's webinar, we're pleased to hear from Bob Taylor, who will be updating us on the Family History Guide. Bob is the CEO of the Family History Guide Association and has been actively doing family history for over 25 years. He has combined his passion for genealogy with his background in instructional design to produce a new learning resource for family history, the Family History Guide. Bob earned his bachelor's degree from Brigham Young University and master's from California State University, both in musical education. He's been a featured presenter at Roots Tech, UVTAGG, and the BYU Family History Conference, in addition to a number of family history fairs in Utah. A career change led him to instructional design and technical writing, where he had worked for large technology corporations such as Novel, Intel, and Western Digital. At Intel University, he redesigned key training courses for employees and managers worldwide, as well as teaching management courses in Washington, Arizona, Oregon, California, and Utah. He's authored many online and written learning systems and helping others accelerate learning in technology, music, and family history. Bob and his wife, Susie, have 5 daughters and 6 grandchildren. And if Bob's ready, we'll turn the time over to him.
Okay, thanks, Marin. Hopefully you can see my screen here. And this webinar will focus on what's new in the Family History Guide. As you know, we're updating the content quite often to keep it up to date and relevant. That's one of the things that we signed up for when we built this website, is we want to always keep it current and relevant. So today, for purposes of what we're going to cover, on the right-hand side here, you'll see sort of a checklist. This has 21 items that refer to things that we've introduced or expanded on pretty much since the first of the year in 2019. So that will serve as the roadmap of what we're going to be covering in this webinar. All right, we will go ahead and get started. One of the things that we've updated fairly recently in the last couple of weeks is our homepage. So I'd like to point out a couple of things that are new or a little bit different there. Arrows and paths. So you see along the top here, as I'm moving my cursor over these entries at the top, you see arrows. This makes it a little more apparent for people who are new to the site. They may not know what this top menu is, and that it actually holds the key to navigating anywhere in the Family History Guide you might want to go. So the arrows help you realize that there are drop-down menus there. Okay, over on the right-hand side, you'll see 4 boxes here. And each of these boxes or tiles represents a different path, we would call it, for the Family History Guide. Most people would be interested in one of these 4 paths. So one is starting your family history. Another one is how to learn family search, ancestry, MyHeritage, Find My Past. Another is finding cool and fun family history activities. These could be for individuals or families, for youth, or for children. And then researching your ancestors. What are the tools that you would need and the resources to be able to do that more effectively? So we're going to click on this Get Started. We've also enhanced this page. I'm going to click Start Your Family History here. And what we do here is we try to help the user identify what their passions for family history might be. So this is kind of a self-examination or reflective type of thing. Here are some sample ones. Are you interested in building and navigating your family tree? Do you want to focus on memories, finding and sharing memories of your family and ancestors? Do you enjoy sharing family history activities or research? Also another path, as a lot of people are curious about, DNA. So each of these have links to the places in the Family History Guide where you could get started on any of those paths. And there's even some more things for beginners, for indexing or collaboration. Down a little bit farther, once you've got your feet wet, the next thing to do in the Family History Guide is to actually start a project. So this area here gives you some tips on how to begin a project. And the projects here, we see the four different partners or learning paths: family search, ancestry, MyHeritage, Find My Past. These are all represented up in the top menu with these drop downs. And you can go to any one of these and start a particular project. So if I was interested in getting started with family search, I would go to the top menu and could click number 1. And here you are with family search, family tree. And basically it takes you through right from the beginning of how do I get an account, how do I navigate, up through more refined questions. And again, along the top, this is common in all of the projects. There's a list of goals that you can click and you can figure out, what do I want? What am I most interested in? How do I add ancestors? There's all your step-by-step instructions, screenshots, and so forth. So for those of you that are familiar with the Family History Guide, this has been around for quite a while. Okay, we are going to go over to item number 3 now, Show Me videos. These are fairly new. So I'm going to go to, let's say, project 1, and we have Show Me Goal 1. We also have Show Me Goal 2. So there are these Show Me videos. I'm going to open this one here. These are fairly helpful. Some people, I'm going to pause that for just a second. Some people are more visual learners and they like to be able to be shown what they're going to be learning. Other people are fine with just reading the instructions. So the Show Me videos basically walk you through step by step. This is computer narration. We've done that because it makes it very easy to update the videos. It's just a question of re-scripting the narration and re-recording the audio. We don't have to hire someone and find out their schedule and do that type of thing. So if I am going to jump ahead just a little bit in this, let's go right about here and start the video. You can see that just gives you a taste of how the moving cursor and the videos and everything give you a more interactive visual type approach to learning there. These Show Me videos are part of our YouTube channel. So I'm going to close this. It opens in a separate window here. And just for reference, if you need to find the YouTube channel, it's under Blog, Social, and then you pick YouTube, and you can find all the videos that we have there. Okay, Show Me videos. Next, the Ancestry app, number 4. So if I go over to Ancestry, we added this about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. Down at the bottom of the Ancestry projects is the Ancestry app. So this you can use on your phone or on a desktop to learn more about how you would use Ancestry and navigate it on your phone or mobile device. All of the screens here pertain to what you would see on a mobile device. And again, the project is broken down into goals. I'm moving across the top here and highlighting different goals that you could work on in the Family History Guide. Number 5, Ancestry DNA through lines. So Ancestry updated their DNA portion of their website. So I'm going to go to Ancestry, and this is project number 7, DNA. And in goal number 4, DNA matching, that's where a lot of the updates and changes have happened. So I'm going to focus on that for right now. Click goal number 4, DNA matching. And you've got your ethnicity results with links to articles, videos, and so forth. How to explore your DNA matches. Using groups to organize matches, other tools. How to use maps, DNA matches, and learning about DNA through lines, which are basically ways to show you how you may be connected to a particular DNA match person through a common ancestor that you may share. Okay, so that is Ancestry DNA, the updates that were made, and the through lines capability. Let's go to number 6, MyHeritage DNA. This is fairly recent. We completed this update about a week ago. So again, in DNA matches is where you're going to find most of the new information here. And they have maps and so forth. And they have an equivalent to Ancestry, where Ancestry had the through lines. MyHeritage has a theories of family relativity, which helps to coordinate people's lines through common ancestors. And they're noted as theories because they're not ironclad guaranteed to be exact proof of shared ancestry. Okay, let's go on to number 7, improved mobile formatting. We've had the mobile formatting in place for a while, but we noticed that there were some inconsistencies, and so several months ago we did some cleanup work to try to get it a little more regular, consistent, pleasing, so forth. So I'm on a desktop right now, but I'm going to approximate what you would see on a mobile device. It's pretty easy to do. Basically, just go to the right edge of the browser and you start squeezing it. And at a certain point, it will jump in here, and you see the menus that were at the top are now gone, and they're replaced by the familiar, we call it the hamburger menu. So you can see at the top, I'm going to click this logo here. If you don't know, the logo, clicking the logo is the way that you get to the home page, no matter where you are in the Family History Guide. So I click that, and you can see the things have been optimized, the screens and so forth. This is like a large version of what you would see on a phone, so forth. And I click the menus here, and you can scroll through and see all of the menu items that you want to and use them the same way. So I'm going to enlarge that back up so you see the menus coming up across the top. If the menus ever disappear on your desktop, it may be because you have your browser window too narrow and you just need to expand it a little bit. Number 8, more quick links and lightning bolts. So probably a lot of you are familiar with quick links in the Family History Guide. We've added more of them. Whenever record collections become available through Family Search, Ancestry, Find My Past, MyHeritage, we add quick links for those in the Family History Guide. So I'm going to show you a brief example of that. Up in the countries menu here, at the top, I'm going to go to the United States. And here we have a list of states. I'm going to go to California. And you see the lightning bolts at the top. These represent the fact that there are quick links available in that particular goal. So I'm going to click number 3, Vital and Census Records. I'm going to scroll down just a bit, and we see here quick links for births, christenings, for marriages, and so forth. So if I click FS, which stands for Family Search California Marriage Index, I click that and immediately I get to the search screen for that particular record collection. I didn't have to wend my way through Family Search and keep track of the menus and so forth. And there's also a Learn More link there. You can get to that directly, and I will close this window, directly through this More link to the side of it. That takes you directly to the kind of help page for that record collection in Family Search. So Quicklinks have proved to be very popular with people. It makes their record searching more efficient. You don't have to spend as much time navigating your way through the different platform menus. All right, so that's number 8. Let's go to number 9. Family Search, Family Tree, and Memories apps. 2 different apps here. So if I go up to the Family Search menu, and you notice there's a divider line here. Below that, we have the Family Tree app and the Memories app. First, I'll go to the Family Tree app. And basically, the entire app is charted and explained and documented here in these goals. We have pedigree, person view, sources and record hints, search historical records, map my ancestors, so forth. The only thing we don't have here is the information on LDS ordinances, but we've included that in the face menu. So I could go to pretty much any one I need here. Notice the pictures, illustrations, and so forth are from the app itself. So it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to use the app. Let's go up here to the Memories app. Very similar. You see the goals across the top here, stories, documents, and again, you can see instructions, screenshots, and so forth for how to use the different features in the Memories app. Okay, that's number 9. Let's go to number 10, Expanded Topics page. The Topics page is in the Intro menu. You can find it down here. It's also available on the home page. And this area in here in the middle is kind of a handy extra links section here. It has things that you might be interested in finding. So we could do it either from the Intro menu or from here. So I'm going to click Topics. And you'll notice, first of all, we have some alphabetical columns. And then as I scroll down through the columns, you'll see that there are a lot of individual entries here. It's kind of like a giant Yellow Pages book. You might think of it that way. But you can click any of these topics that you want to, cemetery records, and immediately you go to the information for that particular thing. So this is a very handy way if you're interested in finding out where in the Family History Guide does it talk about this or that. You can do that. Another way to do that is to use the search capability up in the upper left of each screen, and it does a Google custom search for whatever term that you type in there. So we'll keep expanding the topics page with additional entries as they become available in the Family History Guide. Let's go to number 11, United States and General Knowledge Base. This is a few months old, and it's already proved to be pretty popular. I'm going to go up here to the countries menu. Under the United States, there is a knowledge base. Now keep in mind that this knowledge base has to do with United States research, but also general research. Just like the United States page actually has some good general principles for research as well. So I click Knowledge Base in the United States. Here's the page here. And you can see that we have a few introductory items, and then we have alphabetically pretty much any research or knowledge topic you'd want to know about research. Across the top as well, there are entries here. So you can click those and go immediately to what you're interested in. So I'm going to click one, census strategies. And you'll see as I click it, a bullet list opens up with some nuggets of information that help you get some quick hits on knowledge that you might need for that particular topic. And there are sources that you can click for additional information there. So rather than keep clicking a bunch of them individually, I'm going to go up here in the header area and I'm going to click Open Topics. This allows us to see the entire knowledge base open at one time. And you can see there is quite a lot of information there. And I could scroll down for quite a ways. But this is a good way to keep yourself immersed in research. You can learn kind of 5 minutes at a time, 15 minutes at a time, additional things that you didn't realize about research or that can enhance your knowledge for United States in general research. So that's the US in general knowledge base. Let's take a look at item 12 here, the international knowledge base. 2 ways to get to that. One, there's this INTL link here, or from the countries drop-down menu, you can use the countries KB or the countries knowledge base. So let's click that. So this is divided up into countries and subtopics here. So Argentina church records, for example. Again, across the top, you have 3-letter acronyms for whatever country, ENG, England. I could go there and immediately I can start digging into whatever I want to find out. And as with the United States general knowledge base, I can click open and that will open up all of the knowledge base topics at once. And you can scroll through and you can see that there's quite a long list of helpful information. Country by country. That was number 12. Let's go to number 13. Ethnic groups. Where do you find them in the Family History Guide? They're at the bottom of the countries menu. So we go to countries and we go to ethnic, and they're listed there. The newest one is Basque Research and Records. So we have just one goal there. There's not a lot of information, but it does have some very helpful links to articles and videos. If you're interested in Basque ethnicity research, families, and so forth. Number 14, exercises in country pages. So if I just pick a country here, I'm going to pick England, and I go through, and we've actually added some exercises here. And these are mostly generic. We haven't taken the time to drill into specific topics, but basically when you've gone through and you've watched videos and read articles, you're ready and able to start working on some key learnings for research records. So these are all designed around research, helping you put into practice the things that you've learned in articles and videos and trying them out in your exercises. And of course, the exercises can be measured and monitored through our tracker, either the online or the word tracker, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. Speaking of which, number 15, state, province, England, county entries have all been added to the online tracker. I'm going to go up here to the tracker menu and click online tracker. And what you're supposed to do first, if you don't have an online tracker account, is you're supposed to create one. So in my account, or as you get to the first screen, you could create a brand new tracker account. This is the only place in the Family History Guide where a password and username are required. Everywhere else, you don't need to log in. You just go to the URL of the Family History Guide and you're ready to go. For the online tracker, you do need a username and password because we want to protect the data that you enter. It's nothing sensitive like Social Security or any personal information like that. It's basically just notes that you take and slider bars that you move to measure your particular progress. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll down a bit in the online project tracker. These projects you're probably familiar with, but we've added projects for all of the different countries, for US states, and for England and so forth, British Isles, English counties. So quite a few new entries there. So if I pick one, Alabama, you can see I haven't done much in Alabama research, but all of the goals and choices, and steps are there that correlate with the actual goals and choices in the family history guide. So you can type notes, you can move slider bars to represent your level of proficiency as measured by the exercises and so forth. So that's all available for you to use for free. Okay, YouTube, this is number 16, YouTube video info buttons. So these have been around for a while, but we added quite a few more of them. I'll give you an example of what one might look like. I'm going to go to countries and United States. Let's go over here to location and geography. And as I'm looking on the screen, I see this info button here next to this ancestry.com video about geography and genealogy. If I hover over the info button, you'll see a flyout list of different topics. So this is helpful because it helps you see in advance what are the different topics that are going to be covered by that particular video without you having to scroll back and forth through the video to find them yourself. What's more additionally useful is that you can go through any of these are all links. Suppose I was interested in the Ancestry card catalog. I could click on that, it would open up the video, and then, and you'll recognize that voice as Krista Cowan, probably a few of you, but basically it jumps ahead to the card catalog section of where she's talking about that particular resource. So those are handy to use, and we'll be adding more of those as videos become available. Number 17, goal quizzes. I'm going to go up here to family search, number 1, family tree, and you'll see here near the top there's a goal 1 quiz. Some of these have been around for a while, but we're adding more. So the basic idea here is once you've gone through goal 1, the different choices and so forth, you can test your abilities by taking a short interactive quiz. I click on the quiz, it opens up a window, and you can start the quiz. There are multiple choice, true, false, matching, sequence, all sorts of different types of questions. And you can use that either as an instructor trainer or as an individual learner to measure your progress in the Family History Guide. I'm going to close that window. Number 18, Find My Past DNA. This is brand new, just as a couple of days ago. So we'll go up here to Find My Past and project number 7 and DNA, and most of the unique things about Find My Past DNA are here in goal number 3. The thing to know here is that Find My Past does not have its own DNA testing. They partner with a company called Living DNA, so you would go through that partner, but they're able to link your tree information from Find My Past, so it behaves essentially like Ancestry with its linked DNA and MyHeritage with its linked DNA. So in goal number 3, you'll see about test results and how to interpret Ancestry, family works information, how to build share pages, and so forth. Number 19, redesigned activities index. So I'm going to go up to the top to activities and index here. And you'll notice this looks pretty similar to what we saw in the topics page. We've got the alphabetized columns here, and you can click pretty much any entry, create a vision board, charades, whatever, and it will take you to a particular activity, and there's lots of like startup instructional videos, pictures, and so forth. So this is a fast way if you need a cool family history activity for whatever occasion. You can go to the index and you can look through things that might be of interest for you. Things that are noted by an asterisk are things that are particularly quick to do. They take little or no preparation time ahead. Number 20, so leadership slides and consultant training slides. These have been in place for a couple months. So these are resources for Temple and Family History consultants and those in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So if we go up to the Faiths menu, and the leadership resources is just a couple of items down. And you'll see that there are, there's a slide deck, training leaders on how to use the Family History Guide. An important thing to note here, and we mentioned it right up front, is that these materials do not come from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They come from the Family History Guide, which the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is well aware of, but it is not part of the church. So you need to understand that this is us producing the information to help you use the Family History Guide in whatever family history activities you would like to do. So Come Follow Me, Family History Companion, we'll talk about that in just a bit. Activities, ward activities, missionary work statistics reports, lots of good things there. Okay, number 21, Come Follow Me page. So we're going to go back to the Faiths menu, and this was actually introduced on New Year's of this year. The Come Follow Me program was announced back in September, October, around then of last year. And I remember in one of our management team meetings, we thought this is really cool, but there's not a lot of family history content in those lessons. And then we got the crazy idea to try to provide some of that ourselves, which has actually turned out to be pretty popular and we believe very helpful. So I'm going to go to the Come Follow Me companion, and you'll notice here there's a schedule. We're in August around this time here, and so we click, and now instead of having just the content that is in the regular Come Follow Me, we have content that takes a family history slant. It's got links to videos, articles, text, and so forth to keep you very involved, you and your family or whoever, in family history as a supplement to what the Come Follow Me program includes as well. So that's a bit about that. You can also use the schedule up here in the left, no matter what page you're on, to bring up the schedule. The items in green are ones that are finished, so you'll notice that we still have some work to do. We keep a little bit ahead of the curve in developing these so that you can have a week or two notice of things that you can look forward to in advance. But it's also very useful to go back through several weeks because there are lots and lots of useful activities and content and information about family history that you can explore no matter what the week of the year. Okay, so that's 21 items that are new in the Family History Guide and a little background about each one of them. Just for fun, there is a new feature that we're going to be introducing probably around the end of September. And so I thought I would just show that as a kind of a teaser. So I'm going to open up PowerPoint here. And basically, you'll see on the screen there is a before and after. Now, the stars is a nickname. We don't know exactly what we're going to call it yet. But the idea is that it allows you a way to track what articles and videos you have watched or read in the Family History Guide. So to use this, you would need to have an account opened up, like an online tracker account. So when you are logged into the online tracker, the system would recognize that and it would pull up empty stars next to each of these items here. And so if you click on a star, which is not enabled yet, of course, but when you click on certain stars, they become filled in or blue. So you can measure and track particular article and video links that you have already watched or read, which is pretty useful to help you kind of keep track of where you are. This can also be pretty useful for instructors. So imagine an instructor giving a course on US research and they're talking about records. It'd be really helpful for the instructors not to have to write down on scratch paper which articles and videos they're going to be talking about, but they can pre-star them themselves on their own system. Then when they pull up their system logging into it, the stars that they want to refer to can be automatically shown on their laptop or desktop through the projection system. So that's the stars project there. And of course, as the family history landscape evolves and new things get added, we are all over that. We have lots to do. We're going to be heading to RootsTech London at the end of October. We're excited about that, and lots of work to do. And we're so excited to be able to help others get started with family history, or accelerate their progress, or connect with others as they do their research. Thanks for listening. That's been What's New in the Family History Guide. I'll turn it back over to Maren for questions.
All right, the chat box is open. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and type those in, and then I'll read those out to Bob and he can answer them. It looks like we have a comment from Catherine. She says, just wanted to say thank you. It was a very interesting presentation. It was a very interesting presentation, much I haven't found yet. I think that's all the questions or comments that we have. Thank you so much, everyone, for your participation. If you have any questions for Bob that you'd like to have him answer, you're welcome to email me at fhl_webinars@byu.edu, and I can pass that question on to Bob. Our next webinar will be the 22nd of August. That'll be a Thursday. We'll be having a presentation with Catherine Grant. That presentation will be about using helper resources for Discover, Gather, Connect. And then following that week, we'll have a webinar with Sarah Stoddard on DNA. A recording of this webinar will be available on Monday, and that'll be on our YouTube page and on our website. You can catch updates about this webinar, as well as all of the other webinars, on our Facebook and on our Twitter, as well as on our YouTube channel. If you have any comments or questions, you're welcome to use my email as well, and I'll get to those as soon as I can. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful weekend.